I've now given my time to TimeSplitters Future Perfect on the original Xbox. It's the third game in the TimeSplitters franchise, and surprisingly, I did not enjoy it. Let's get the good out of the way first. This game features highly expressive animation, much similar to TimeSplitters 2, and it makes a sincere effort to improve every facet of its presentation from prior titles, elevating it to one of the best looking and sounding games of its period. There's also a real cinematic appeal to the soundtrack, striking a perfect chord between atmosphere and memorability. Cortez's new characterization also lends itself really well to the series' staple humor, and though the cutscenes are far more frequent, they are engaging enough through their lively animation and over-the-top voice acting to be well worth it. So, onto the story mode. I dislike it strongly. For context, the first two TimeSplitters games were rather special in their approach to game design. They championed player agency above all other factors, and the levels had very open, arcadey design, even in the second game's more traditional campaign. You'd be dropped in a map, given your objective or objectives, and told to figure things out yourself. The locations in TimeSplitters and TimeSplitters 2 were sprawling, labyrinthine, and had supremely engaging pathfinding that pushed the player's mental resources. They're highly rewarding to navigate. TimeSplitters Future Perfect, on the other hand, is rather extremely linear, and obsessively utilizes the same hand-holding design that's become so pervasive in many modern shooter games. You're no longer allowed to figure things out for yourself, because Anya back at HQ and your designated goofy sidekick for the level will blather endlessly about your current objectives, the time of day, the weather, and whatever they had for lunch this afternoon. It's incredibly tiresome, especially coming off the tail of the two previous games where dialogue was kept at a minimum. It doesn't help that most of it is so brain-dead and clearly exists just to point the player in the right direction. It's not as though there are many wrong directions to begin with, since Future Perfect only lets you do things in order, and doesn't offer much room for creativity or exploration. Hey, did you forget the objective? Reminder, here's the objective, dummy. In short, Future Perfect's game flow is just so unremarkable, especially in contrast with its predecessors. Gone are the open locales with varied objectives because now is the age of linear cinematic experiences. It doesn't help that the difficulty has been severely dumbed down as well. This game takes so long to ramp up in difficulty. I was able to play on autopilot for the first 4 stages, and given how bad I am at FPSs, my autopilot shouldn't have been enough. There were several gameplay segments where I was paying half a span's worth of attention. I would finish the objective with ease, then ask, wait, really? That's it? The enemy AI got so much stupider while we're at it. They gleefully funnel themselves right into whatever bottleneck you're hiding behind, allowing you to readily mow them down with all the same thoughtfulness one uses to munch potato chips. Apparently, ducking behind a box and blasting a guy's brains out with a boisterously loud pistol also counts as stealth. No one else heard me do that for some reason. I'm being stealthy right now. So, to enumerate, so far we've got constant chattering from NPCs, far less agency, in a series that used to be all about agency, little room for exploration or player ingenuity, dumb enemy AI. What else is there? Oh yeah, bad checkpointing. The game really loves to set checkpoints right before obnoxiously long, obnoxiously dull sequences, instead of before genuinely challenging moments. I'm not happy. That said, I'm not willing to say any of these things make Future Perfect a bad game. It's just so far removed from everything its prequels did that it blindsided me. The shift in design is stark and abrupt. It no longer feels like the heir to GoldenEye. Even the basic gunplay has an entirely different feel to it this time around. The developers were kind enough to include a challenge mode, which contains a similar gameplay structure to the original TimeSplitters. And these optional missions, the soul of the series still lives on. You are dropped in a level after a suitably brisk briefing, given a map to explore and weapons to collect, and that's it. The player is left to their devices. It begs the question, If they were still so capable of design like this, why shift the focus so radically? Why make the story modes so linear, forced, and obtrusively patronizing? I don't get it, and I don't like Future Perfect.